Strangers in the Wood is an actual play series drawing elements from gothic fairy tales and 80s fantasy and sci-fi action and horror films. As such, a list of content warnings will always be made available in the description. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Strangers in the Wood. I am your humble game master, Kendrick Smith. I use they, he pronouns, and with me today is my wonderful and lovely player, Hilda.
Howdy. That's me. I don't know what else to say. It's just me. Feels weird.
What are your pronouns?
My pronouns are she, her.
Awesome. Where can people find you on the internet?
You can find my beloved, wonderful little boy, Elliot the kitty cat, at Elliot the kitty cat at Instagram. That's 2 T's and 2 L's in Elliot.
Like a proper gentleman should have.
Like a proper gentleman, yes.
Like a proper gentleman.
The little gentleman he is. Okay.
The little gentleman he is. And you can also follow the podcast on Instagram and Twitter at Tales Yet Told. It's where we post most of our stuff, like updates about episodes, sharing character art when we get it, and just talking with you all in general. If it's not on the Discord server, which you can also
There's
find.
A Discord server?
There is
Tell
a
me
Discord
more.
server. Well, of course, random civilian. There's a Discord server for Tales Yet Told, and you can find a link to it in the link page found in the bios of both of our social media pages. So you're going to have to go there anyway, and you might as well follow us while you're there.
Gee willikers. I'm going to do that. Right fast.
Yeah. I don't see you typing. Why aren't you typing? You should be
I'm
typing.
sorry.
It's
I'm going right now.
Thank you. But yeah, you'll notice it's just me and Hilda today, because
I made the great decision to go off on my own.
You did make the great decision to go off on your own. I support your decision personally.
Of course you would.
They're always saying don't split the party, but this isn't Dungeons and Dragons, so you can do whatever you want.
True.
No rules here. Not on this podcast.
Splitting the party only gives you the opportunity to torment individual members of the party without remorse. So that's why you like.
I don't. Torment is such a
torment
strong word.
is a strong word. All right.
I prefer the term traumatize. No.
I prefer good old-fashioned trauma.
I prefer... Yeah. Yeah, I guess with all that said and done, it's time for us to get into it.
The trauma, that is.
The trauma.
They're not dragging me down. I just have to tone things back around Dorothy.
Why?
Because I don't want her to see anything she shouldn't see.
Dorothy's right. You need to lie down. You shouldn't be putting weight on that thing. Not yet.
Oh, lie down and wait for her to come back, huh?
Look, she's gonna help. I mean, she's not gonna help us necessarily. I mean, she's good.
Interesting that you don't have a story for this one.
You pushed the Abbotts away, you pushed me away, you pushed Walter away. Why do you push everybody away?
Do you ever think that I don't want you?
Elsie, where were you? I looked for you everywhere in the spider den. You weren't there. And
I got wrapped up by spiders and they took me. We can find someone who wants us. There's so many people here, and there's so much, room for us to find someone. Even if it's finding our way back to the Abbotts or even finding someone else, we can do it. We don't need Dakota for that.
The driver, I convinced her to turn her violence towards the stranger. That's why we're here.
Fine. You said you wish for something, and you have knowledge. Fine. I'm done pulling punches, though.
Good.
You hear Elsie, who's next to you, go, I think that's a good name. And Walter, you hear it when Elsie says that.
Huh. Yeah, Elsie. It is a good name. And, but he's like totally not facing the right direction.
The purpose of this AI, or the purpose of this virus, is to incite the transformation of Dorothy into an animal.
Walter, I know Elsie's not real, but she's my friend, and she has been for a lot longer than you have.
I think I might even know a faster way for us to get there. And she goes over to the table and grabs a pair of keys.
I didn't know you could drive, Elsie.
I don't know if I can, but we can figure it out.
All right, let's go.
Dorothy. We fade in on a red Pontiac Firebird swerving in and out of the lines down the country road, flanked on both sides by autumnal trees, lush foliage and plant life, viewing it as it drives from high above, slowly moving closer. We hear the music coming from this vehicle. It is loud, and it is, I'm not sure what kind of music would either Elsie or Dorothy, I'm not sure who's turned on the radio, but one of you have. What kind of music are you listening to?
I think Dorothy wasn't the one who was like, let's turn on the radio. But the moment Elsie was like, we should turn on the radio, Dorothy was like, yeah, we should turn on the radio. And I think she's feeling the rebellion in her veins, and she thinks of what Dakota does to be maybe a little bit rebellious, and finds the loudest like rock station or something like that that's just like blaring out of the car speakers.
That's really good.
I just picture like probably Dakota's room closed at some point, like sign on the door, like a keypad, but like there's just like music just like pounding on the inside. Like, so Dorothy has associated that with like, on my own, I'm rebellious and I'm gonna play music really loud, and it's gonna be loud music on top of that. So
nice. So you're playing some, what is 80s, like, I guess Dakota would be listening to like punk.
I don't know. I'm just scrolling whatever the stations are in the Sublime.
Yeah. I wonder if there's 80s.
What does come on, like
Def
Leppard or something? Like, I don't know.
Just some like, maybe like AC/DC or Queen. There's okay, hold on. We're viewing it from high above as the car is swerving in and out between the lines of the road, heading down this country road, flanked on either side by autumnal trees of reds, golds, oranges, and browns, lush plant life, bushes, shrubberies, so on and so forth, flowers and vines growing about the ground. And as we move in closer, we start to hear the sounds of Queen's I Want to Break Free. as we follow this red Pontiac Firebird, strangely a convertible, despite the fact I'm pretty sure they don't come like that. But fuck it, it's my world. Yes, they do. And we see the tops of the head of one of our two little troublemakers. Dorothy, the two of you have taken this car. Taken the driver's car, stole her keys, got in.
This is a true fact, yes.
This is a true fact, and I have a question for you. Which one of you is at the wheel, and which one of you is working the pedals?
I think I've let Elsie kind of take the lead on most of this, so I think I'm just working the gas and the brakes.
I like that.
And she's doing all the steering.
I love that. I kind of like that.
Elsie's at the wheel
as well.
Yeah.
So you have been following the direction of Elsie, as she is a little too short to like be she can stand on the driver's seat and like use the wheel and like look over it, but is far too short to be working the pedals. So you are like sitting down in the little like leg space for the driver's seat, and you are working the brake and the gas. Are you doing it like with your hands, or are you like sitting like your back against it and like using your feet to
I think I am using my feet just so that like, because I can like then sit back like against the bottom of the chair, and I'm like, so I can have like a conversation with Elsie and stuff.
Yeah, that
and I
makes
can
sense.
kind of see a little bit of like, you know, the trees overhead and stuff like that. But yeah,
I love that. Yeah, and that works.
But I'm using both feet. I'm using one is on the brake and one is on the. It's very unsafe. I mean, this whole thing's unsafe, but like I've got both feet.
Oh, for sure.
Going.
And you can tell like she's having.
I'm sorry. I have to double check. Was this car established to be a clutch either, or was it just a?
I don't. No. It's okay. There's an e-brake.
There's an e-brake. Okay, that's what it was. I was like, 1 second.
Wait, hold on. Wait, let me see.
Now I need to know.
Am I going to... what is more interesting? For it to be an automatic and be easy for you all to... relatively easy for you all to drive? Or it being a relatively complicated...
Or we like grinding the gears on this car, like trying to figure it out.
It is an automatic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're good. We're all good.
Cool. Good.
The two of you are kind of have worked a way to make this a somewhat viable operation.
Super road safe.
Yeah, so you're sitting down in the like little leg space using using your legs to work the pedal and the brake. She's standing on the driver's seat, looking over it, like trying to like use as much force as she can to like turn the car, but not too much. She doesn't really understand the mechanics of how to drive in a straight line quite yet. So it's a terribly delicate operation that's going on here, and you guys are blasting music, and you as the two of you are driving are going down, I guess. Let me just check in. How is Dorothy feeling about all of this?
Dorothy was feeling pretty resigned about all of this. This kind of felt like the only option left for her if she wants to like get back home.
Mm-hmm.
So she started out this whole drive as like a last resort sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But now that she is like doing this and like tasting this freedom kind of for the first time, she's got it's that feeling of just like emotional free fall almost.
Mm-hmm.
Where she's just like, it's full adrenaline, but it's like wildly freeing at the same time, where you just like are laughing because there's like nowhere else for the emotions to go. Like she's never tasted this kind of like wild abandon, and it's really throwing her off, but like it's really weird and different, but she's also kind of having the time of her life, and that's all she's like able to feel right now. She can't even like think about like all of the bad consequences that are gonna come and stuff. She's just like in straight like free fall of like emotional like yeah, just like elation almost.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is great. So you all
she's at the top of the roller coaster and she can like feel the momentum going down. Yeah.
I love it. The two of you driving, and you can hear Elsie from above you saying, "Should we go faster?"
I don't know. Can we?
You're at the pedals. It looks like there are numbers bigger than the one that the like little dial is on. So it looks like we could go faster.
Let's go faster. Why not?
Yeah.
I like push harder on the gas pedal.
Yeah, for sure. You can feel the momentum start to build up in the car, this like low rumbling that like is kind of like shaking you, but like in the way that it feels almost exciting, like kind of like what you were saying, like kind of like that feeling of a roller coaster getting faster, and like the way that it like almost kind of numbingly shakes your body, that like to a degree you stop feeling it, but like as soon as you're off of it, you'll be like, oh, my body was moving like a lot up until this point.
For sure.
And you can feel the car start to go faster. You feel the wind blowing through the car, kind of sweeping your hair up in a way. And you start going faster. You can feel like as she is trying to like keep a handle on like keeping the car straight, the like kind of slow rocking back and forth of the car as she's turning, you hear her say, "There, it looks like there's a sign. I can't quite. Oh, I think it's a town.
A town?
Yeah, it says Oak Creek."
Okay. Should we go through? Should we stop?
Maybe there might be people. Maybe one of them will know where to go.
Okay.
Okay.
I move my other foot to like start pushing on the brake, but I forget for a second to like remove my first foot from the other one, and I'm like, oh wait.
This is like kind of
the
like
car makes like a terrible noise for a second because I'm on both pedals.
Exactly.
And yeah. I start like hitting my left foot.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like there needs to be a roll to see.
Just a chaos roll.
Yeah, kind of like just to see like how this driving thing goes, you know? Maybe, yeah, let's just make it a noodle roll, you know? This will be the combined strengths of the two of you. Figuring out how to drive this car.
Okay.
I'm making it to your destination, so roll plus noodle.
All right.
You made a face.
That's a 4.
Okay, cool. Great.
I made a face because it was a 1 and a 2. So it's like almost. Yeah. And then I get my +1 for noodle.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, this is great. Awesome.
I'm gonna take my XP.
Yeah, take your XP. You did fail. Take your XP.
Am I gonna get that?
The two of you are driving, and as you do, as you're going, you from down there can't see what's going on, and but you can feel like the slow moving of the car back and forth, and I think there's a moment where like you just get really relaxed about it, where you're feeling the wind blow through your hair, you're feeling like this low, comfortable like tremoring essentially, and you like kind of like relax into it, almost like you would relax into like a massage chair a little bit. And I think you just relax, and maybe your foot just keeps pressing down on the pedal, maybe a little too hard, and you can feel the car like slowly speeding up. And but like it's such a slow gradual thing that you can barely feel it. And but there's like a little bit of I think Elsie starts calling out to you, where she's like, Dorothy, 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 but you don't hear her at first because the music's so loud, and it's just Queen going on in the background, going, I want to break free, and then bam, you crash right into something. The like you go like bam, your head against the back against like the front of the seat. Elsie goes like flying as like the car is like completely like crashed into something, and like you're like take 1 harm.
Sweet.
And you were like you're kind of like just like luckily whatever you've crashed into hasn't like broken through the car so much that like this inner part has been damaged, so like you are safe in that way.
Damn, we know how safe those cars made in the 80s
right.
are when they crash, which is
right.
not at all.
You're very lucky.
Damn.
And you but you're like kind of been thrown like amongst like in this little I can't a footwell, that's what it's called, in the little footwell here. And you I imagine are kind of dazed or shaken up. It takes you a second to really get a sense of what's going on here. What do you do?
Elsie? Elsie?
Yeah. You kind of hear her voice from like farther away, not in the car.
Yeah, the moment that this has happened, all that elation has just crashed with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's back in like regular Dorothy, kind of like coming to like with everything that she's doing and is happening. Like it's all just kind of whoom, it's like right there again. And she's like, Elsie, are you okay?
Yeah.
Elsie, what happened?
We crashed.
I noticed that part. What did we crash into?
A pole. You can kind of hear like the like scraping sounds of like her moving amongst like broken glass. And you like kind of like look out of the footwell a bit, like kind of start to look around, and you can see like the front window is broken through. There's glass there's like some glass on the like driver's seat and like passenger seat. Both of the airbags have gone off for both the passenger and the driver. And you're kind of like pushing your way through it as it's like deflating. And
I like reach for like the door handle and like try to open up the
you're able
the
to
driver's door.
You're able to get
and I'm
your
gonna go
hand
find Elsie
through. Okay. You're able to get your hand to the door, like open it up, crawl out of it between
I like
the
fall
space.
out kind of more because I'm like under the airbag and steering wheel and like tumble out.
Yeah, of course. You tumble out of the car and onto like what it's like a large wood plank. On the ground, and like as you're like kind of like looking around, still a bit shaken, you kind of like stumble your way up, and there's like a large like a metal girder like right there as well. And like you start to like get a look around, you see the car has crashed into a large pole with like a metal contraption with 2 large red lights on either side of it. And you like start looking around, and you can see that you all are stuck on a train track. And you see Elsie has flown through the front window of the car and is
Flew
like
through the windshield? Oh,
flew
fuck.
right through the windshield, and she is like kind of holding on to the large pole as if she like flew out and then like landed into it and then like grabbed on it. So she's like sitting on the hood of the car, which is now smoking and like and caved in from the impact, and you can see she's like just now like starting to move, holding her head. But you notice she seems strangely unaffected by like any kind of damage, like physically. Like there's like no cuts or bruises on her. Her clothes look a little messed up, but physically, other than that, she seems fine.
I'm immediately still like checking her over, and I'm like, "Are you okay? Are you bleeding? Are you?"
Yeah, no, I'm okay. I'm just, oh, we were going really fast.
I'm sorry. I lost track of what we were doing, and I think I went too fast. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. That was fun. That was that was great. I'm okay. Are you okay?
Yeah. I don't think the car's okay though.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's true. She says, like, as like she like starts to look around at like the ruined car and like the smoke coming out of the front.
I think you should get down from there. It's smoking. That's probably not good.
Okay. And she like kind of crawls like over to the edge of the car and like hops off of it and onto the ground. And she goes to hug you and says, "I'm glad you're okay."
Oh. I hug her back really hard. I'm like, "I'm glad you're okay. You're the one who went through the windshield."
Yeah, I know, right? And she like has like this
That's
like smile.
Scary.
I mean, it was kind of scary, but it was also fun. And I'm okay. Look.
Okay. Okay. As long as you're okay.
Oh, yeah.
But
I'm
what
okay.
are we gonna do about the car?
Well, we can see if it'll back up, but I don't think it's gonna work.
I think so either. I'm gonna go back toward the car and like I like to think we established there was a back seat. I think the pumpkin's back there. I'm gonna go grab my pumpkin.
Yeah, you go and grab the pumpkin. It's still there. You see the turtles have been tossed about on the inside of it. But they are both still in the pumpkin.
They're both still there. Okay, good. Timmy and Toby are still together. Yeah, I just go grab them because I'm pretty sure that the car's a lost cause at this point.
Yeah.
And I walk back over to Elsie, and I'd like to take a look around to see what Oak Brook, I believe you said it was called? Oak Brook?
Oak Creek.
Oak Creek.
Yeah.
And I take a look around to see if like any what's here? What's going on? The train track, obviously, but like,
would you like to take a gander
outside of town, or yeah?
Yeah. So you're gonna take a gander.
Take a gander.
Yeah. You take a long, hard look around, describe what you're looking into, and roll plus noodle.
We're both fucked. All right. That is an 11.
Hey, on a 10 plus, ask your GM 2 of the following questions, which they will answer truthfully.
Hey, truthfully, that's what we like to hear.
No lying today.
All right. Let's see. What happened here recently besides us crashing a car?
What's the other question?
The other question is, what should I be wary of?
Okay, cool. What happened here recently? Okay. The answer to this is you are not quite inside of town. As you're looking around, you see you are on train tracks that are on a road leading into town. You can see the town isn't terribly far away from where you are. As you just like kind of look across in the direction that you were going, you can see the shapes of buildings and stuff further along the road. Still kind of surrounded by trees. You can also see that there is the large tree that you had seen on your way in before when you all were heading towards the motel. That large tree with the almost iridescent leaves that kind of shifted colors depending on what angle you were looking at it from. I want to make sure I use the right word when I said iridescent, because that's going to bother me if I didn't. Yo, that's exactly the word. Booyah. Awesome.
Nice.
And you get the sense that okay, I know what you know. The thing that happened here recently is that the bus came through. Because you can hear the sound of children. I think as you're looking down the road, you can see a large yellow bus that is like further down the road, and you can see there's some kids who are like running across the street, heading towards the bus. So that is what has happened here recently.
Okay.
What should you be wary of? I think is answered in two ways. The first one is you become very acutely aware for a second of the sounds around you as you like, again, and I think you kind of notice it at first when you're like, oh, you can hear the kids down the road, and as you're looking, like you see them and you see the bus, so on and so forth. And then you also hear the sound of like a low rumbling, like a rhythmic kind of movement coming not from like down the street like towards the town, but coming down the tracks, in fact. And you can feel the low rumbling, and I think you like very like quickly like turn in the direction as soon as you hear it to like see like, okay, what the heck is going on. And then the second way this is answered is you start hearing a bell ring, and the red lights on the pole start going off, on and off, and you see these large red and white barriers lower down from the poles that they are affixed to block anybody from coming. And you hear a really loud choo choo coming down from the tracks, and you can see the light as a long black train is coming.
Okay. I make sure Elsie and I are outside of the tracks then. If we're not, I'm gonna pull her with me off of the train tracks.
You gonna try to skidoo here?
Sure.
Okay,
that's what that takes.
That sounds like what's happening here.
Escaping imminent danger. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, time to run. Roll plus steam.
All right, that's an 8.
On a 7 and 9, you escape but create a complication. You leave something behind, you take something with you, or you create tracks, etc. Interesting. What could this complication be? We're gonna play this out over a slightly longer period of time, so work with me here.
Cool.
You see the train coming before Elsie. She's not even really paying attention. You see it happening, and you go, oh, damn, something's happening. I don't know why I'm stopping myself from cursing. I don't know why that happened. Probably because I'm like, Dorothy wouldn't say fuck.
Stuff in your hold, maybe. I was.
Yeah. But you see this, you're like, oh crap, and then you grab Elsie, you start to run with her, and she wasn't paying attention. You start to pull her, she starts to trip, and her foot gets lodged in the tracks as like you're pulling her along towards the edge of it, and she goes, Dorothy, you're hurting me. I can't. My
We have
foot's
to
stuck.
go. Elsie, there's a train. Let's go.
Help me!
I'm trying to get her foot out. Like,
yeah, you pull and pull and pull, and you're trying to get it, and you hear the rumbling of the train. You hear the choo choo as the train starts moving forward. You're pulling and pulling. The train is getting
Elsie!
closer. Help me,
on.
Dorothy!
I'm fine.
And you're pulling. The train's getting closer. It's like 20 feet from you. It's moving. Choo choo. You hear the grinding of brakes, and like sparks start flying as the train is trying to slow itself to a halt, seeing the car and like children in front of it. And there is like a guy leaning off of the train who's like trying to wave you all off, like yelling at you all. And you're like, the train's coming, and you're able to pull her out of the tracks just as the train passes, it crashes into the Pontiac. It like goes flying, like getting like crushed and then like pushed out between the pole and the train, getting tossed and lodged, definitely on fire right now. You see the train gets kind of dislodged from the tracks and like kind of starts like tipping over and then completely falls over, and it starts getting, and like you're able to, like, you and Elsie leave. The two of you start running as you guys fall off, and then like all of this starts going off, and the two of you have are booking it into the woods and between the road and the town, and like you can just hear the scraping of metal, the like destruction and carnage as cars are turned over, like crashing into each other. It's like chaos behind you. It is absolutely the worst possible scene that could have happened. And the two of you are in the woods.
Did I do that? Damn.
What a great start.
Again.
What a great start.
When we're off to a great start here, yeah.
A wonderful thing.
Great. Yeah, so I dislodge Elsie. I like to think she maybe lost a shoe in that
oh, for
on the
sure.
track. Like Elsie lost her shoe while I was pulling her away. And yeah, I feel like we just like, it's like I pull her back, we like fall on our butts like off the tracks, and just like immediately are like scampering off, and it's just like woods over to like let's go this direction.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like I'm kind of in flight mode with Elsie, just like her kind of like stumbling behind me because she's missing a shoe now. And I'm just gonna kind of like book it through the woods until I feel like I'm far enough away from that carnage.
Yeah.
No, I think just like the moment that I feel like I'm anywhere away from all of that, I'm gonna stop and like take a breather with Elsie, try to catch my breath, be like, Elsie, I think this might have been a bad decision. We've almost died like 3 times already. I'm really worried.
It's gonna be okay. This is crazy. Oh, and she's like, I imagine Elsie is like sat down, like leaning against a tree, trying to catch her breath. Still like kind of in the days from the original thing. It says, this is crazy.
What are you doing, Elsie? This feels too crazy.
What do you mean?
I mean, I'm not supposed to do these things, and now I'm doing all kinds of things I'm not supposed to do, and it's immediately going wrong.
I mean,
Maybe I shouldn't have left.
No, I don't think those things are your fault. They just, I mean, yeah, we were in the car and we crashed it, but honestly, that was my fault. I'm the one who swerved into the pole. I'm not the best driver, I don't think. I was having a hard time steering, and so that wasn't your fault. That was mine. And the other thing, I mean, it's not like we could have known the train was coming, right?
Yeah.
Um,
We couldn't have.
no. We could.
It feels like every time I'm supposed to do something different, or I want to do something different, it goes wrong.
I'm sorry. Well, maybe, you know what? Every time we've done something and it's gone wrong, it's mostly been me, right? I've said, hey, we should do this, and then we do it, and then it gets messed up, and then something goes wrong. Maybe you need to do it. I mean, you are smarter than me, so how about you choose what we do next? And if it goes wrong, then maybe we go back. But if it goes right, maybe then, you're just better. You'd be a better leader than me.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So
I've never been the leader before.
that's because no one's given you the chance.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
So what do you want to do?
Well, I want to find a way out of here.
Oh.
So I guess out of back home.
Oh.
I want to be out of here, the sublime.
Okay.
So I guess we should find somebody who knows how to get out of here.
Who do you think knows?
I don't know, probably somebody important. But then they'd probably also be working for the stranger.
Maybe.
So we should probably go. Maybe the library has something? Is there a library here? We should look for a library.
Okay, yeah, let's go look for a library.
Okay. Yeah. Let's go into town and look for a library.
Okay. Awesome. This seems like seems like it might be stumble upon.
Cool.
Awesome. Sorry, I gotta scroll back up to stumble upon. What's that shiny thing over there? So mindlessly find a clue, or a clue comes to mind, and you wander off to find it unnoticed. There we go.
What's it plus again?
It is
Wish or noodle?
Roll plus noodle.
Noodle, okay. Keep rolling and it keeps like being talked on my computer. All right, that is a 6.
Okay. Awesome.
Rip.
Big rip.
R.I.P. to my ideas.
Big rip. This is great. I think what happens is hello, friends, it is I, your friendly neighborhood ghost, Kendo, the GM and host of this podcast. And this is where I stop doing that voice. Thank you all so much for listening to the podcast. It means absolutely so much. I really can't put it into words how much it means that you take time out of your busy schedule to listen to our humble little podcast over here. It really means a lot. And one way that you can show your appreciation for what we do, assuming that you like this podcast, is leaving us a rating or review. And you can rate us on Spotify and Podchaser. You can also leave a review on Podchaser and on Apple Podcasts, and like quite a few other things as well. I think on like Podcast Addict, maybe on Stitcher, I'm not quite sure. Apparently you all listen to this from a variety of different things, which is really cool. So go into wherever you mostly listen to these podcasts on and leave us a rating or review there. That's the best way for other people to know how much you like the show, and it's also a good metric for us to know if you're liking the show as well. And if you're a fan of us and you haven't already yet, go follow us on social media, on Twitter and Instagram at Tales Yet Told. That's TALESYETTOLD. And that's where we post updates about all the episodes coming out. Or, character art. We share some of that, and we just like interacting with you. Another place we like interacting with you, our brand new Discord server. You can find the link to our Discord server on our Twitter page and also in the link pages that you can find in the bios of both of our social media pages. The Discord server is a slowly growing group, but it is a great group. We are already starting to plan events like doing a weekly character building kind of event. We also want to do a watch party of Treasure Planet, which might be happening next week. I'm not super sure, but you know where you can find out? Come into the Discord server. Boom, bam, that's a plug. And last but not least, we want to thank Be Gay Roll Dice Network for allowing us to be a part of the queer little family. We're all just a bunch of queer people trying to make wonderful content by people like us, for people like us, and just filling the TTRPG space with wonderful, new, diverse voices. In fact, I have a little ad from them for you now. So go out, treat yourself, get enough sleep, eat enough food, drink enough water, and take care of yourself, and love yourself like I love you. Bye. Something is wrong in the city of Astoria Heights, and the only ones who can set it right are a would-be starlet, a nun with strangely prophetic dreams, and a mobster on a divine mission. They know that a rift will open up in the city, utterly destroying it. And they know this because they've lived it more than once. Fate is dead, and they're the replacements. The Last Tapestry is a D&D 5e podcast featuring an all-LGBTQ cast set in a homebrew world with a 1920s aesthetic. Find it on your favorite podcast app or follow it on Twitter at The Last Tapestry to find out when new episodes drop. I think what happens is the two of you start going through the woods in the direction of town, and eventually you break through the woods and you are just on the edge of town of Oak Creek. It's a small town. I'm imagining almost like kind of a Midwestern kind of feel. Midwestern might not be the most accurate just based on like terrain. Maybe a bit more like like Appalachia. So like
foothills kind of deal?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Hold on, I'm Googling like an Appalachian town to get a sense. Yeah, this is 100% kind of what I was thinking of. It is this
somewhere
town
in West Virginia kind of deal.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like surrounded by forests and foothills, and like kind of built into the surrounding natural landscape. So it's almost like kind of like a little circle of civilization amongst all this like natural looking like kind of location. And it is like mostly brick and mortar buildings, none of them really getting higher than 2 stories. You see a lot of I'm imagining it feels a little rural in the way where like there aren't a lot of places and not a lot of people, but it doesn't quite like it has the feeling of having a lot of energy packed into one small space. It has the feeling of a lot of like life and culture and people in this area, and it's very early in the morning. You can see like the school bus is like going around picking up kids to go to schools. You see people driving around on their way to work, and you see a lot of like the early morning traffic and the early morning like activity of this place be halted by this terrible tragedy that has happened on the edge of town. and you like immediately hear like the sound of like sirens and as like fire trucks and like ambulance and cop cars start like paving their way through the streets trying to get here, trying to do something to be able to help the situation. You see like people like looking in awe, people who are walking along the street start gossiping with each other. Like everybody is like, everything has paused to witness this event that has gone down. And you and Elsie are trying to get into town, like start making your way through town, trying to find a library. And I think almost your natural instinct is to go like towards the center of town and then like work your way out from there. And you all like towards the center, so the town is kind of built around the large tree, of course, and I'm imagining like around the tree is like a large like central like park kind of area where you can see like benches and like people like out doing like morning runs, so on and so forth. And like you see some major buildings like, oh, like this looks like the town hall, this looks like a main strip where like there's like a bunch of places to eat, as you see like gazebos, like multicolored like gazebos and like people opening up shop and stuff like that. And I think while you all are looking around for a library, while you are here, or while you're kind of looking around trying to dodge all of these people, you see someone. Like you're going around looking for the library, and you see someone you recognize going into one of the shops, and you see Marley going into this little place right off of Central Park, a pizzeria called Butler's Pizzeria. I don't think you see her going in. I think you see her walking out. The lights are off in the place, and you see she like comes out of the front door. There is a short woman with like long curly hair. She's wearing glasses. I'm imagining like a long like a skirt with like a sweater on, like a blue kind of multicolored sweater, and like come out with her, and like the two of them were talking. She gives the woman gives Marley like a kiss on the cheek and sends her off. You see the antlers on Marley's head look like they've grown quite a bit since the last time you've seen her. You also see that it seems like she's sporting a tail now, a short fluffy deer tail.
Dang. So I see Marley. Does Marley see me? At all,
I think she does. I think that's part of this. I think the two of you like kind of lock eyes for a second, as like she starts walking, sees everything that's going on, and as you're just in like Central Park, like kind of looking around, the two of you like lock eyes for a moment. She kind of looks and calls out to you, and you just hear like from like across the street, Dorothy?
Hi, Marley.
Dorothy, what are you doing? And you see she has like a backpack on and like looks both ways, runs across the street and says, Dorothy, what are you doing here?
I was looking for a library.
What are you? And then she takes a look at you for like a second, like kind of looks. And right now, Hilda, I'm gonna ask you to make a roll.
Roll.
a roll for the new move that you have.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't given this move a name. I should. What's gonna be the name of this roll? I don't know the name of this move yet. We can come up with a name, but would you like to read it for the audience?
Sure. Unnamed roll. When you take action to further your own independence, roll plus stat. The stat will be correlated to the action taken. For example, if you run away from someone to escape their authority and influence, roll plus steam. If you argue with them to assert your agency, roll plus mush. On a 10 plus, one of your existing symptoms manifests in a benign way. On a 7 to 9, choose one from below. A, gain a new symptom. B, an existing symptom worsens. Or C, take advantage on your next roll. On a 6 or less,
Or disadvantage.
choose 2. Sorry, yes, disadvantage, my bad. Misread that.
You're good.
On a 6 or lower, choose 2.
Yeah. So for the audience, Hilda and I have talked about this off mic, and this will be our first time talking about it on mic. Dorothy is changing. Dorothy has the bug, the virus, that is slowly turning her into an animal. And so this move is kind of
no, it's not.
no,
It's
you have
I have the virus.
You have corona. If you fail this next roll,
You get COVID.
You have COVID. You have long COVID.
Kidding. Sorry. The way you said, just the way it immediately was, you said she has the virus. I was like, COVID.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yes.
But yeah, you have the sublime virus, and are slowly turning into an animal. What animal it is will be, I guess, revealed over time as you slowly become it. And so yeah, you are already starting off. You have a symptom currently. I have not told you what the symptom is. Do you want me to? Would you rather me just leave the symptoms as descriptions, or like just tell you what the thing is?
I'm okay with them kind of being realized as, as they appear.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know what this symptom is yet until it maybe gets pointed out to me.
Exactly. Yeah.
Sweet. Which stat?
Oh, yeah.
Am I adding to this?
So the action that you took to further your own independence is the one that is the you taking charge of the situation and being like, okay, this is our next move. So in doing that, I would say, I guess it might be tied to the actual move that you did. So with that move, you rolled noodle. So maybe it's a noodle roll.
Okay.
I think I'm okay with using it like that.
Cool.
Okay, cool.
Okay. I need to stop rolling it here. Okay. Okay. That is an 8.
An 8. Okay. That's a 7 to 9. So you choose one of the 3 that are there.
You said I already have a symptom.
You currently have a symptom, and it has kind of presented itself. I hinted at it. And so do with that what you will.
I think an existing symptom worsens.
That is perfect. That is the one that I wanted you to choose. Perfect. And I think the way that this is almost immediately like manifested in a way that like Dorothy can recognize is that Marley looks at you like for like finally like getting close up to you, looks at you and goes, Dorothy? Are you? Oh no.
What is it, Marley?
Marley like kind of gets gets down like to like her knees and like brings you into a close embrace. Dorothy, I'm so sorry.
What's going on? Marley, are you okay? What?
And she like kind of like brings you back and is holding you. He's like, you don't know.
I don't know what's happening, Marley. You're scaring me.
Dorothy. I come with me. And she stands up and like offers like her hand for you to hold it.
I take it.
Okay. You do, and like the two of you like she like walks kind of like deeper into the park. Elsie is like seeing all of this, has been kind of quiet and like follows the two of you as you are. And in this park, I imagine there's like a fountain. And the two of you like walk through the park towards it, and you're getting closer, and it's like one of those like two-tiered fountains that is like spewing up water. And like as you get closer to it, she like the two of you like walk up to the edge of it. She kind of takes a deep breath and like looks down into it. And Dorothy, you look down into it and you see that your nose isn't quite the nose you remember having. It doesn't really look like a human nose. It is kind of flattened a bit. Your nostrils have been like flattened like against your face, and like kind of pushed up a little bit, almost in like not quite a snout, but it's like it's a bit more, yeah, it's a bit more flat, it's a bit more kind of raised. And your mouth is kind of like morphed like a little bit, and this is all stuff that has happened in like such a way that like you didn't even know that this was a thing you have. You don't know how long you've looked like this, how long like your nose and like your mouth are kind of being formed into what looks like a rabbit's face.
The moment Dorothy like sees her reflection at all, she like grabs at her nose.
Yeah, it's such
like,
it's such a weird feeling to like grab your face, and it feels different.
She turns back to Marley and she's like, "Is this a joke? What's happening? What's happening, Marley?
You're changing, Dorothy.
But why? I don't go to school. I don't belong here. How is this happening?
I don't know. And I think
I like start like rubbing at my nose, like I'm trying to make it like go away.
Yeah, as you're like rubbing at it, it feels so weird because it is not like, it feels like it's like kind of wet in that way that like animals' noses get. Your mouth feels strange and curved in ways that don't feel right. And as you're like pressing against the skin, you kind of feel like kind of pricking against it, almost as if like whiskers were like starting to like form beneath the skin, ready to pierce their way out. And like it feels so strange. And it like, you notice like as your like hands are like close to your nose, like it smells different. Like the way you smell is so much more precise in a way where like you're smelling the dirt, and it's not just the dirt that's under like caked beneath your fingernails from like running through the forest like trying to get Elsie out. It is like you can smell like the different grasses and the different like you can smell in ways that you hadn't before, that feel so much more sensitive and so much more pungent and almost like kind of piercing in that way, because you are finally recognizing that you are perceiving the world in a way that you hadn't before.
I'm like still like touching my face and like kind of rubbing at it or whatever. And after I have that exchange with Marley, I immediately round on Elsie. And
Okay.
I say, how long was this happening? You didn't tell me.
Tell you what?
That my face is doing this, that I'm different.
You're not. What are you talking about?
Look at me.
I am.
I look back in the fountain.
Nothing has changed.
Like, yeah. You don't see any difference?
No, you look the same. What's wrong? Are you okay?
My nose and my mouth are just, they're not mine.
What do you mean? They look the same to me.
I look back at Marley. And
Marley, yeah, as you do that, Marley is like, Dorothy, who are you talking to?
Elsie. Elsie's with me. Marley.
Dorothy. Dorothy.
Why is this happening?
Dorothy, I think you were given a role, and I think the stranger has decided that you're not following it.
But it wasn't ever told anything. I don't know what.
Did Principal Albert not give you a role when all of you were in his office?
He just tried to put me in brown class.
Oh. That's Dorothy, the brown class are the kids that we're the ones that turn, and you like recognize that like she is still wearing like she is wearing her school uniform, and it is the brown class uniform.
But why?
Because we're not.
He was going to put me in green class, and then he didn't.
I don't know, Dorothy. Sorry.
But I don't go there. I'm not in brown class.
Dorothy, just because we want something to be true doesn't mean it is.
But Marley, that is true. I don't go to that school.
But you were supposed to, Dorothy. They enrolled you. You were given a class.
But I'm not supposed to be here.
As far as the Sublime cares, you are. I'm sorry. But we can...
How do I make it stop?
You go to class.
That's the only way?
I mean...
It doesn't...
You can tell that she...
It's not working for you.
You can... Well, I wasn't going to class, remember? I went with all of you. This will be my first day back. You can tell that when you asked if there's another way, you could tell that there's like, you can tell a thought crossed her mind, but then she decided to bury it.
There has to be a different way. I can't go back to the school.
Are you trying to grift her into revealing more
Sure.
information? Okay. Oh, don't forget to take experience from that other role, by the way.
I did.
Okay, cool.
I did.
Awesome. So for grift, this is maybe the most we've rolled ever.
I know.
Right? You try to convince someone to do something against their self-interest, deception, intimidation, persuasion, whatever. Describe what you want them to do and roll plus much. So you want her to tell you another way that she perhaps knows.
Mm-hmm. Plus mush, but it's -2 because I don't have this thing, so it's a flat roll.
Gotcha. Seven. On a 7 and 9, they'll consider it for a price. Oh, okay. I think the price... Okay, I think I know the price. Look, okay, Dorothy. There are technically other ways to possibly stop the transformation. Because, I mean, not everybody who goes through the transformation is a student. So for some of the adults and some of the kids who have very specific parents, there is a place, but I don't recommend it, Dorothy. I really don't.
Is it?
There is a church in town. There's a church, and they claim the leader of the church claims to be able to speak with the stranger, talks to the stranger regularly, and some people have gone there to try to reverse the transformation. And it is a weird, strange place. I've never been myself. My parents weren't really the churchy types, and I'm not really either. But the people that go there, they come out weird. And I don't mean like, yeah, they come back as people, but like they're different. Dorothy, promise me you're not gonna go there, okay?
What choice do I have?
You can go to school.
I can't go back there.
Why not?
Because I'm not supposed to be there.
Dorothy.
And because I got Edward killed there. And Principal Albert got mad at me. And I don't go to school there.
You see, when you mention Edward's death, you see her face kind of falls a little bit, like as if like just remembering like everything that happened, in a way where like she had obviously tried to push this off, tried to forget it, but like you've like dug it back up. And she goes, Dorothy, I know that things didn't go great there, and I know I can't force you, but I think it's the best thing for you. I don't know if you're gonna be able to get out of the Sublime, and if you're not, you might as well make this place a home. Find a place to be and belong and fall into place, or you might end up changed, and I don't want that for you. And as she says that, the school bus pulls up like to the side of the road, like and like you see like the red stop sign come up, and like they're like kids like energetically like chirping and like going on about their business on the thing, excited, gossiping about what's going on. You can hear them as the window Jesus, you can hear them as like the windows of the bus are like pulled down, and the bus stops, and like kind of beep beep, and she like kind of turns to look at it and says, I gotta go. Are you sure you don't want to go?
Marley, I found a place where I belonged. And I didn't have that for a really long time. But I found one. And I'm not gonna let it go. So I can't. Because it's all I have left.
Okay. I understand.
Thank you for your help. I really hope that the school works for you.
I think I will.
Because you don't deserve this.
I think I do. And she starts to turn and walk away and says, and like starts to walk away, stops and says, please, Dorothy, don't go to that church. Please. Please. And she turns and walks onto the bus, and the bus waits for a bit. And as you stand there and watch it, Elsie like kind of walks up to like stand side by side with you as you watch the stop sign on the bus fold back in, and the bus pulls off, leaving the two of you here side by side. I'm going to have you roll again. Awesome. As I believe you've taken the action to further your own independence. Roll plus stat. I think in this way you've as the example in the move, you have argued for your own agency. And so roll plus mush.
7.
On a 7 and 9, choose one from below.
Great. I'll push it off. I'll take disadvantage on my next roll because it'll probably still be bad.
Yeah.
But...
yeah, no, totally fair. Okay. Awesome. The two of you just watched this bus pull off. You are still standing here in the park. You see that there is so much chaos currently. Not like a bunch of chaos. People are still trying to go about their day, starting up the day, but there is the huge elephant in the room of there's a derailed train just outside of town that all of our first responders are currently trying to deal with.
Cool. The perfect diversion for two kids who are supposed to be in school.
The perfect diversion.
This was a plan all along.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, watching the bus roll away and like thinking on the fact that like Marley believes and apparently like Albert believes and the stranger believes overall that like I'm supposed to be on that bus feels really weird.
Mm-hmm.
And like watching something that supposedly is the solution to this problem that's presented itself that I've also just let roll away also feels incredibly dissonant like in my mind.
Yeah.
But Dorothy is just, she is steadfast, even still, that she doesn't belong here. She's supposed to be back where she was finally placed in a good home with the Abbotts, and they liked her, and she got along with them, and she wants to get back to that so badly, especially after the hell of a last 3-4 days that she's been through here.
Yeah.
Like, nothing sounds better to her than being back in her room at the Abbotts.
Yeah.
And so, like, hanging on to that idea and knowing that that's where she wants to be, the only thing that she can think of is that that's where she belongs. It's the first place she felt like she belonged.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't feel like she belongs here. And even with the scariness of what's happening to her, she's going to take any other opportunity presented to her.
Mm-hmm.
So even though Marley was very insistent and very kind to her about it, she's going to immediately start looking for this church.
Okay.
Because that's the only other option that's been presented to her at this point.
Yeah, for sure. So you're going off to look for this church.
Mm-hmm.
We had you do stumble upon, right? For the first looking for something?
I believe so.
So do you want to just do that again?
Sure.
All right.
Question.
Yes.
Is that taking disadvantage thing is on the next roll that I do of that move?
Yeah.
Or is it
let's say
here?
that. No, I think I like that as being specifically for that move.
Shouldn't have said anything.
I mean, what do you
but yes.
What do you think is better? Do you think that
No, I think that makes more sense, honestly, because if I'm pushing off something, then it probably has worse consequences when I push it off.
Yeah.
You know?
I like that. I like that a lot. Cool.
Okay. So I'll just do a regular old stumble upon.
Mm-hmm. What's that shiny thing over there? Roll plus noodle.
Noodle. Use your noodle. Ooh.
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 That's an 11.
An 11. Ooh. On a 10 plus, you mindlessly find a clue. We're kind of using this in a way where it's not so mindless because you are looking
Not
for
so
a fact.
mindless, because I am looking for
Or
things actively,
maybe this
but-
is you find the thing that you're looking for, but maybe you also find another clue, which I think could be interesting.
like when I found the change, but then I also found the turtle.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I was looking for the
Yeah,
that's fair.
for sure. So, I think the placement of this church feels like it should be fairly central, right? So maybe it's just like just off of the park. And
Marley's like, whatever you do, don't go to that church, Dorothy, and it's like right behind me, the opposite side of the park.
but that's like also like the really classic, like, don't go there, it's evil, and like lightning cracks and it's like right in view.
It's right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I love it.
What do you think this church looks like? I don't tend to ask you all this stuff, but I'm interested in you all, like, what do you all think like the architecture here in the Sublime kind of looks like?
When you were like describing this town, and then when like Marley talked about a church that was in this town that like maybe a little sinister, but like I just immediately picture like that classic, like a little rural church, like a little white building with like a steeple and like a bell and like I'm picturing like a classic, like made out of wood, just like an old unassuming looking kind of little church that would be like kind of quaint and kind of cute. But like, yes.
You were describing, like, I had looked it up and I was looking, I'm like, oh, this kind of makes sense. And you described exactly the same building, which is so good.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I'm super down for it. Yeah, it's the white wood building, slanted roof, steeple with a bell in it, maybe
it's
a
got
cross.
like one really good stained glass window that would be like above the altar, basically. Yeah, exactly.
That's so good. And I know I just said that maybe there's a cross on it, but I don't know if it would have a cross. Is there?
I was about to say, I feel like the thing that I recognize it as a church is the steeple rather, and it's like that thing where you've seen a thing so often that you like assume other stuff is there, like when you like that, those weird things where you can like read a word if the two, like the first and last letter are there.
Yeah,
you can read it perfectly fine. It's like that's the church because it looks like this and it has a cross and it doesn't have a cross, but like it's there in your mind because that's just like what it looks like.
I really like that. I think it looks like a church and all of its and all like physicalness of it except for in the symbolism of it. And I'm trying to figure out, what do you think the symbol of the stranger would be? Like the iconic like thing that people would be like, you see it and you immediately are like, that's him, that's the big guy. Right?
Is it cliche to say like an eye?
I was thinking the same thing. I super was thinking the same thing.
Like, are we going to series of unfortunate events?
Yeah.
VSD into like, but like I think it's eye.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah, I feel like there definitely is kind of I-ness about whatever this symbol should be. I'm trying to decide, is this a symbol that people have given the stranger, or is it one that the stranger has made his symbol? Because I think then the design is different, right? Because if it's something he's designed for, like, this is the thing that symbolizes me, that's going to be different from the way people perceive the stranger.
Is it maybe a thing where like he was kind of assigned it as like the stranger's always watching kind of thing, and then he like just leaned into it and was like,
that 100% could be it. That 100% could be it.
And then he started making an iconography out of it almost.
Yeah.
Because that's what he wanted to present, was like omnipresence almost.
Yeah.
An omniscience sort of deal.
I kind of like that. Yeah, I definitely think that the people of the Sublime have this idea of omnipresence, um, as being the stranger is always watching. The stranger is can knows when you make a mistake, knows when you get off course, and
He knows when you're sleeping.
yeah,
He knows when you're awake.
yeah, he does. He does, doesn't he? Yeah, I think the symbol that you see is like an eye shape. It's like kind of an abstracted eye. Of course, it's not like fully just like a human eye. I think it's like the most base like kind of a an ovular shape that has been like pulled at like on either side of its edges, you know, to kind of make it more pointed in that way. Um and just like a singular um dot in the middle for the eye. I think that is um the
This sort of deal.
yes, yeah, exactly like that. Um
Cool.
and I think rather than being like horizontal, it's vertical. So that the 2 points are like up and down rather than like side to side. And then like that is the symbol that is on the building. So it's like this white wood paneling.
Oh, it would almost then have like a cross like figure to it because it would be like if it's sideways,
yeah.
it's like
Oh, that's so good.
and then the pupil goes across the oh, okay.
That's really good.
I
Yeah.
love that.
I like that a lot. And so you are seeing this like there's this like this large bronze eye symbol that is atop like on the side of like the steeple, essentially, like right below like the opening part where the bell is on this a large church. I imagine there's a sign that's out front. I'm thinking that it is not quite, maybe like not quite just like, oh, it's like right on like the like right off of the Central Park. I think maybe it's like a little bit of ways off, but like on a raised hill, almost overlooking the town in a way. And there's a sign out front that says First Sapling Church, I guess. Yeah, just First Sapling Church. And like you see like there is like the boards where like you put the individual letters in.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I don't know what they're called, but yeah,
yeah, there's like one of those signs that are right under it that like has times for like service. And there's like the general times for service, and then right under it
a letterboard is all I'm coming up with.
yes, letterboard, that's the word.
Or a marquee. I don't know.
Yeah. So on the on the sign where it says First Sapling Church, there's a little marquee under it that lists like regular service times and such. And then like on the bottom there is rehabilitation service. Or sorry, yeah, like like a rehabilitation service all day is what it says. There's like no like set times for it. Is like it looks like come in to come in and at any point and you can be receive the go to rehabilitation service.
Cool. I'm going to turn to Elsie. I'm gonna say, I think we have to go to that church. I can't let this happen. I can't go to the school. Elsie, how did you not notice this?
I still don't know what you're talking about. Nothing about you looks like it's changed to me.
But my nose and my mouth are different. They don't look like me.
They look the same to me. I'm sorry. I don't see I don't see what you're talking about.
Well, I have to fix it. And I think the church might know how.
But didn't Marley say we shouldn't go here?
But she also said that they might be able to fix this. I can't go to the school for it, so...
I guess you're right. Well...
Okay.
You are our leader now, so I guess Whatever you choose, I'm with you.
Okay. I think we should go look first.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go ahead and go over to like one of the windows.
Okay.
I'm gonna peep up in one of the windows first.
Awesome. Sounds like you are taking a gander.
Wow.
We're rolling so much today.
So much.
It's because we can get stuff done with only one person.
I was about to say it's because I only have you to play off of. Like I'm just gonna go do stuff instead. Yeah.
No, that's totally fair.
I can't argue with Dakota or listen to Walter or like
right. I feel like this is the most we've gotten done in any session.
I don't know, you and Walter got a lot done.
I guess that's true, but
Gus.
also it was just me and Gus.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
Awesome. I'm sorry.
A gander. That's plus noodle, right?
Yep. You take a long, hard look around. Describe what you look into. Roll plus noodle.
That's a 10.
On a 10 plus, ask the GM two of the following questions, which they will answer truthfully.
I'm at least nailing my ganders, so you can't lie to me.
That's good.
It is good.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Mm-hmm.
And what here isn't as it appears to be.
Okay. Cool. What's going on here? So you peer through the window, and inside it looks like a pretty typical church. You know, there is like, I'm imagining like a deep, dark, like burgundy carpet. There are like pews on either side of like dark wood. Actually, I forgot, this is the Sublime. The carpet is like a deep emerald color, almost like grass. And the pews are like this dark wood that seem to be like growing up out of the ground, and like there's like matching colored like padded seating on each of the pews that like match the color of the carpet. And you are looking through, and you see there's a service going on. Sure, why not? It's an early morning service. Or maybe it's not even like a full service. They're like people who are in here like setting up for a service, let's say that. And so like you see like they're laying out like little leaflets on the pews. They're going around like setting up new candles along the front part of the altar. The people who are working here are wearing I'm kind of imagining as this like the aesthetics of this church almost like a Baptist church, or like a
like robes and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's not robes. It's not really robes.
Okay.
Though. Yeah, because Episcopal is a little too close.
A little too Catholic.
Yeah, a little too Catholic in that way. This is more of like, these are common people. These are like, they're just like regular people who hold positions as like deacons and such in the church. So like they're wearing like nice suits is what they're wearing.
Okay.
Like they're wearing their Sunday best because it's always Sunday for them because they work at a church. The only difference is that you see one person who is this woman. She is maybe around like 5'5", 5'6". She's an older woman with like short, deep red hair. And she is wearing what looks to be like a robe. It's got like a plain like white robe underneath, and I think over top she's wearing a almost like a liturgical dress, I get, or like vestment, you know, where it is like long, the arms kind of swoop down, almost as if it's like a poncho over like the plain white robe under it. And it's like it's a similar like shade of like green, and there's like gold
embellishments?
Yes, thank you. There are like gold embellishments along the front and like kind of curving off like down like the arms as well, of like filigree like vines and like flowers blooming along the kind of embellishment on this vestment. And you see that she is kind of leading the thing going on here. Like people are coming to her to be like, okay, where am I going to put this? And she like like very calmly, like, you know, points things
Can tell
out.
she's in charge.
Yeah, you can for sure tell she's in charge, and she does it with like an amount of grace and like very humble, where like people are coming to her, but it doesn't, she's not like yelling at them like, oh, go put it here. Like there doesn't seem to be like a very commanding presence about her, but there is an authoritative one where people come to her and she answers it, but she does it in a very calm and almost humble way of like, where it seems like though she is in charge, she feels like she's on the same level as these people. And your second question, what here is not what it appears to be. You see that there is, as she is like moving around and like light is coming through, I'm imagining there's this large stained glass window in the back by the altar that has the image of the eye like in the center of it, and there's like an autumnal like colors like around the eye, but also around the eyes are hands that are like kind of spread out almost like wings on a seraphim, where it's like three on either side surrounding it and like kind of curled in a little bit, almost as if like they're coming in to grasp the eye, or like coming out to like hug something that is in front of the eye, is the kind of design of it. And the hands are of like a multitude of like shades of colors. And as like she's walking by, she kind of stops, turns to look at it, and as she turns back, you see there's a bit of light that kind of glints off of her, and you can see there's like a weird texture to like the side of her neck, almost like scales.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think what Dorothy would do with this information. So it's people in there that are like setting up for a service. There doesn't seem to be anyone in there who is not like part of like church staff, basically.
At this moment, it doesn't appear so.
Okay. Just double checking. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and I'll go ahead and go around to the door.
Okay.
And I'll like,
it's unlocked if you like
crack open the door.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like let it kind of like creak open, like peek in to see if I see anything different from here. And when I realize that I don't, I'm gonna like motion to Elsie to like follow me, and then I'm gonna just sneak into like one of the back pews and just like sit down.
Okay. Doing it in a way, are you trying to do it in a way where no one catches you, or
maybe because I want to observe more.
Yeah.
And because I don't see anybody else here, even though it's said all day or whatever, I'm like, oh yeah, the service probably hasn't started yet, but like I need to like, I'm gonna stay here and like wait for it. And
yeah. for sure
but also not be in anybody's way, and like awesome. Classic Dorothy stuff.
Yeah, so you go over to like one of the pews. You go and no one notices you at first. You go and you sit, and you sit in a pew that someone has already come by and like sat like and like put the leaflets on there. And you like take a look at it, and on the front of it,
I read one of the leaflets.
You take a look at it, and it's like First Sapling church. It's got like a picture of the lady that that you see on it. You see that her name is Sister May, and it's got like a list of like the itinerary for their service. So it's like, opening reading, going through sermon, so on and so forth, like special announcements, music time, all of this stuff, and like it's got like quotes on it as well, as if they're like passages from some.
Oh, okay. I was like reviews or like.
Yeah, no, but like like bits of like what looked like almost like passages, almost, and it's like all of them are like quoted like of the stranger, essentially, and all of the quotes are essentially stuff about like, knowing your place in the world, finding purpose in structure, be the guiding hand for others so that they may too find their place in this world, humility and all of this good stuff, right? And as you're like taking a look at it, you see Elsie is also looking through one, but she's like kind of like flipping it over in like a way where like it's obvious she's only looking at the pictures, as if she can't read, or like you see like she's trying to sound out the words. And as you are looking at it, you hear from like across the room, someone go, "Oh, well, it seems we have a new visitor." And that's where we're going to end the session.
Damn.
Fucking wild.
Damn.
What a fucking session.
Whew, boy. All right, I have to write down that I have to take disadvantage the next time that I'm
rolling. Yeah, what are we gonna call that?
Rolling my move. Rabidify. It's like revivify, but it's a rabbit.
End of session. So you've already gotten XP for each of your failures and stuff. So for the first question, were you good to your friends?
For this session?
Yeah, we can do the last session.
Probably not.
Okay. I mean, you were good to Elsie. You believed her over Walter. I think either way you went,
she's a longer term friend. I mean, yeah like that's the thing is like, I defended Elsie and I like tried to be, I was like going to be good to Dakota, and then like I like got the bullet for her and everything. I was gonna like be like, oh, look at this cool thing that I kept for you, and like I don't know.
Yeah, I would say you were good to your friends. You made the attempt and were successful for Elsie. But yeah. So yeah.
Okay.
I'd say you get 1 XP for that.
Boom.
Did you overcome your fears?
In that session? I don't think so.
Yeah, I can't think of one you did either.
No.
Did you learn a lesson?
I think Dorothy might be learning that if she wants something, she can't depend on other people to get it for her.
Yeah.
Or do it for her.
Yeah. I agree.
So I'll say yeah.
There's 1 more XP. And then we can do the ones from this session. Were you good to your friends?
Yeah. I was very good to Elsie this session. I saved her life.
That's true. Very true. So 1 XP for that. Did you overcome your fears?
I developed a new fear, which was that I was starting to change. I don't know if I exactly like. It's did I face my fears, right? That's the
did you
wording of it. Overcome.
Did you overcome? Yeah, and I think of that as were you posed with your fear, and then did you overcome it in that moment, not necessarily like a wholesale like, is this a fear you're never gonna be afraid of again kind of deal.
Yeah. I still don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think there was anything in particular that was like
tied into your
into my basic fears,
Yeah.
because all the people who've approached me were either familiar or not not adult men.
Yeah. Fair.
So
cool. Did you learn a lesson?
I don't know if I learned a lesson.
Okay.
Because I think I think instead of like learning or growing in that moment of like deciding to go to the church and like follow whatever, like I think that was more of a reverting than like a proactive thing. That was a running back to people who know better, who are doing things from like that like I said, like that's her reverting to like all those conversations with like social workers and stuff like that, where like the adults are taking care of it now.
Yeah,
so
for sure. Got it. Okay, very cool.
Sweet.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Hilda. This was fun. I imagine next time we all play, you're obviously still gonna be by yourself, like doing this thing, but we'll probably all be together and alternating. Whatever session I do with them, we'll be catching them up to where you are now. Not in the same space.
I had to go off on a misadventure first.
Yeah, and
I had to wreck a train and all that stuff.
Yeah, you
first.
have left quite a bit behind in order for them to have to deal with. I'm excited for that. Awesome. Well, thank you all for listening. This has been a wonderful experience with just the two of us here. Dorothy is getting into some crazy shenanigans, let's just say.
All about the shenanigans.
Right. So again, thank you all so much. Hilda, where can people find you on the internet?
You can't. Mwahaha. You can't. No, just kidding. You can go follow my cat on Instagram. His name is Elliot, and he's the love of my life. You can follow him at Elliot the Kitty Cat. That's 2 L's and 2 T's in Elliot.
Awesome. And you can follow me, Kendo, at Kendo Makes Films on all social media. And you can follow this podcast at Tales Yet Told on Instagram and Twitter only. No other social media for that as of yet. We'll let you know if it does, but the other thing we do have is a Discord server. Bam, look at these sick
join the Discord. See, that's how you can actually that's where you could follow me. You can follow me to the Discord, and then we'll be friends there.
Exactly, because we'll be looking out for you. We it's still new, it is growing, and we are like kind of starting to like come up with stuff for us all to do, like the weekly Weekend Warriors thing, the character creation.
So cool.
Yeah, I'm super excited about that. And we're also planning on doing a watch party soon of Treasure Planet. But by the time, may
have happened already by the time this
but we will definitely be having more watch parties, more people, and more stuff. Because we're just trying to build a fun little community of people who like this podcast, and B, TTRPGs, anime, video games, all that other cool, fun pop culture stuff that we all enjoy. So go rate us on Spotify and Apple Podcast and Chaser, wherever you can rate and review us, please do, because it means so much to us to see what you think of the thing that we are making for you. Yeah,
please
please so go out, eat enough food, drink enough water, get enough sleep, and take care of yourself, because self-care is very important, and we care about that for you. And don't forget to love yourself, Like we love you.
Like we love you.
Yeah. Bye.
Be gay. Roll dice.
An LGBTQIA actual play podcast network.